Kia ora, Angela here from ECE Learning Unlimited. Today I'm going to show you how to make a really fun teaching resource, a cute little wooden house. This is a very quick resource to make. You'll be able to make it in less than an hour with just hot glue and a few resources. For the full list of materials and written instructions for how to make this resource, jump on over to ecelearningunlimited.com where you'll find everything there in one place. The thing I really love about this teaching resource is that it is a very open-ended resource that children can use in any way that they want to. You can provide loose parts, little wooden people to go with this, anything that stimulates children into storytelling and their own creative play. So let's get stuck in and I'll show you how to make your own wooden playhouse.
So the first thing we need to do is measure out the paper to match our house to get the shape that's going to fit inside here. So the easiest way to do that is to just trace the house onto the back of the paper. Go all the way around the outside, like so, and then we can cut that out. So what you'll find now that you've cut out this shape to match the back of the house is that it won't actually fit in the front here because it's actually a tiny bit smaller here. The edges of this house, we haven't allowed for that, so it won't fit inside entirely. So what we need to do now is just start to trim it down to make it fit inside the house, and that's a little bit of a guessing game, but you just trim off the edges until you can get it to fit nicely inside the house there. If you just do a little bit at a time, then you won't over trim it and make it too small. It should just drop nicely inside the house and fit perfectly. There we go, and that seems to be fitting. I'm quite happy with that. It doesn't matter if it doesn't fit perfectly because when it's standing up at play level it won't be noticeable. So now that I'm happy that that's fitting, I'm going to take that out and get ready to glue it. So now that we've got our paper ready to fit inside the house, we're going to glue it. I'm just using regular PVA glue, and you just need to put a bit onto the back of your house, and I'm just using a paintbrush to spread it. You want to make sure that you spread it evenly all the way out to the edges of the house, of the paper, so that it will, all the edges are going to stick down nicely inside the house there and not peel off. All the way around, all the edges, everywhere nice and smooth. And then when you're ready, we just want to pop it inside the house. You do need to be a little bit careful because it does stick down pretty quickly, so just line it up at the bottom edge here and at the sides, and then just slowly layer it into the house and push it down into place. Fingers like this. Press it all around evenly with your fingers just to make sure there's no air bubbles in there. Until it's stuck down like so. So once you've waited a few minutes for your PVA to dry, we want to add some Mod Podge to the top. The thing I love about Mod Podge is that it helps to seal the paper down so that it's more protected and less likely to peel off, and also just creates a protective layer for when small little hands are playing, dirty hands are playing with it. It means that you can wipe it down without peeling the paper off. So, and also the other thing I love about Mod Podge is it dries really quickly. So all we need to do is apply the Mod Podge to the inside of our house in even strokes, up and down, all the way over the top, and cover the whole of that piece of paper. Help seal that down into the house. Give it that protective layer. Put it on fairly thick. Dries clear, so don't be too concerned if your strokes are not even and you're thinking it's a bit messy. I wouldn't be worried about that because you won't see them when it's dry. It It does get around the edges a bit, so I do like to just also, I think it's worthwhile just adding a bit to the inside of the house here also on the wood, because that's going to help put a nice protective layer on that wood too. In the event that you want to clean it, you can wipe it down and it's not going to get, the wood isn't going to be damaged by spraying and wiping this. So just go ahead and paint a layer of Mod Podge all over the whole of the inside of this house. Nice even strokes. And then you just want to leave this to dry. It'll probably take about 10 minutes for it to dry, and then we're actually going to put Mod Podge on 3 times, 3 coats, to really give it a good protective coat that's going to help this house to last and survive the playtimes with small children. So, I'm going to leave that to dry for about 10 minutes. Now that the Mod Podge is all dry and the paper is sealed into the back, we're going to apply some green felt all around the top of the outside edge of the house. And to measure the size of the felt that you need, you can simply use a tape measure and measure the width, and then measure the full length from one corner all the way up and across to here to work out exactly how long you need your felt to be. I would actually allow a couple of more centimetres longer so that you've got a bit of room to play with your felt. And then once you have cut your felt, you can do any colour you like. I've gone with green because I'm going to add green leaves to the outside. Once you've cut it, then what we want to do is glue it on to the house. And to do that, we're simply going to use the PVA again and our paintbrush to paint that on nicely. And again, we want to bring the glue all the way out to the edges. This PVA will dry fairly clear, so you don't have to worry too much if you go over the edges. Make sure it goes all the way up to the edge for the felt, and then we're going to stick the felt on really nice and tidy. You want to try and have a nice tidy edge here at the front if you can, so line your felt up on this front edge, because we can trim it along the back if we want to later. So we do one bit at a time. So we've done that part there. Now we're ready to do this next part. Apply the glue, brush it all on, all the way around, all over those edges, a little bit more down here again. You apply it on quite liberally so the felt has really got something to hook into. And then again we're going to line it up at the front and press it down quite firmly as we go. Find that some parts haven't stuck down as well, just come back and apply a bit more glue and press it down and hold it down. Now I can go ahead and trim this edge off here. Now we're going to go ahead and do the final part and attach our leaves to the outside of the house. It pays to put the hot glue gun on to let it warm up for a few minutes before you're ready to use it, because it does take a little while to warm up. And then all we're going to do is simply apply the hot glue to the edge of the leaf all the way along, spine here, more down the end here, and then we're just going to stick this down onto the house. Hot glue is always pretty fiddly to work with, but the good thing about it is that it does actually come away really easily too. So just press that down into place, and then we're going to do the same on this side too.
So that's it, easy peasy. That's how to make your own wooden playhouse. I really hope you enjoy making yours and even more using them with your children. Join me again soon when I'll show you how to make some more fun teaching resources. Ka kite anō whānau.